Pets Connection presents 14 things you should stop doing to your dog. Dogs are considered part of the family by many people, and for good reason. They are loyal, loving, and provide hours of companionship. Even the most responsible dog owners can make mistakes and do things that can hurt their dogs. But before we talk about 14 things you should stop doing to your dog, click the red subscribe button right now. This simple gesture will connect you even more with your pet. Pets Connection, where you get to know everything about your pet. Have you ever gone for a walk with your dog and without realizing it pulled the leash? Or, did you give that nice hug and he surprised you? And are you dressing your dog the right way? In this video, we'll talk about all that and more. So here are 14 things you should stop doing to your dog. Number 14, do not use human products on your dog. There are a variety of reasons why you shouldn't use human products on your dog. For one, dogs and humans have different skin flora, the bacteria that live on their skin. Using a human product on a dog can upset this delicate balance and lead to skin irritation or infection. In addition, many human products are not intended for dogs and can be harmful if used inappropriately. For example, shampoos intended for humans often contain harsh chemicals that can strip the natural oils from a dog's coat, causing dryness, dandruff, and even hair loss. Soap is also another product that should not be used on dogs. It can cause itching and develop hot spots, better known as acute wet dermatitis. So always keep your cleaning products out of your dog's reach, and if you suspect your dog has ingested any of these chemicals, contact your veterinarian immediately. Number 13, don't stop them from exploring and sniffing. Dogs are naturally curious and love to sniff and explore their surroundings. This is one of the ways they learn about their world. It's also how they meet new people and other animals. If you restrict your dog from exploring, he will be bored and anxious. This can lead to destructive behavior, such as chewing on furniture or digging up plants in the yard. It's also important to let your dog sniff when you go for a walk. This is how dogs learn about other dogs and people. They might even pick up some interesting scents. Allowing your dog to explore and smell helps keep him happy and healthy. Number 12, don't run away from the vet. Regular visits to the vet are important for your dog's health. The vet can identify problems that may not be noticeable to the owner and provide treatment before the problem becomes serious. Some common conditions that can be treated if caught early include parasites, ear infections, and urinary tract infections. This is important information as it will ensure your dog remains under control. Annual vaccinations and checkups are also important to keep your dog healthy. By keeping track of your dog's health, you can help ensure he lives a long, healthy life. Number 11, don't give unwanted hugs. Dogs often greet each other with a scent, but what about when we want to show our affection? A hug is often threatening or unwanted for dogs, especially if they feel trapped. That's because dogs have a social hierarchy in which they establish their domain and classify themselves among others. When someone hugs them, it can be seen as an act of dominance or even aggression. Most dog experts agree that full-body hugs aren't the best way to show your furry friends some love. Instead, try petting them on the head, scratching behind the ears, or leaning into him and letting him rest on you. This will make them feel loved and appreciated without putting them in an uncomfortable situation. Number 10, don't make them apologize. It is often said that dogs can feel guilt or shame after they have done something wrong. However, new research suggests that these complex emotions are not something dogs are capable of feeling. A study by the University of Portsmouth looked at the behavior of dogs after chewing on their owner's shoes or destroying a plant. The results showed that the dogs did not appear to regret their actions and were equally likely to chew shoes or plants again in the future. This research confirms what many experts have long suspected, that dogs cannot feel guilt or shame. Instead, they simply react to suggestions from their owners, such as being scolded or given a treat. So if you're frustrated with your dog for chewing on your shoes or plants, it's best to focus on correcting his behavior rather than trying to make him feel guilty. Number 9, don't isolate them. Dogs are pack animals and do everything together. They need to be around other dogs, whether it's in the park or just playing with a friend's dog. Dogs also need a lot of exercise, both physical and mental. If you isolate your dog, he will become bored and destructive. He may also become anxious and develop behavioral problems. If you own a dog, you know they need a lot of attention. Not just when you can give it to them, but also when you're not at home. That means taking them for walks every day and spending time with them when you can. It's important to make sure they get enough exercise and human interaction. Your dog is a member of your family and as such needs to spend time with you. We ask that at this moment click on the like button just below this video and subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. This will motivate us to create more videos like this, teaching you to better understand your pet and make it even happier. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Number 8. Don't assume your dog doesn't care about the weather. Many dog owners don't think to consider their pets' feelings about the weather. Just like humans, dogs can be affected by extreme temperatures and precipitation. In hot weather, dogs can suffer from heat stroke or dehydration. They may pant excessively or lie in the shade to try to cool off. When the weather is especially hot, it's important to remember that pavement can be just as hot as the air. So make sure you take your dog for a walk in the early morning or evening hours, when temperatures are more tolerable. And always bring water for them to drink too. Number 7. Don't make them hate your box. When training a dog, the biggest mistake people make is using the crate as punishment. This is the worst thing you can do, because the dog will have a negative association with the crate and will be reluctant to enter it. Instead, use positive reinforcement when your dog does something you want him to do and provide plenty of exercise and play. Number 6. Don't feed them more than a recommended daily allowance. Dogs are like children in that they need to be given the right amount of food to grow healthy and strong. Unlike children, however, dogs do not regulate their own intake, which means owners need to be responsible to ensure their furry friend doesn't overeat. According to the ASPCA, American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, nearly half of all dogs in the Americas are overweight or obese, putting them at risk for a number of health problems later in life. It is important not to exceed the right amount of food, as overfeeding can lead to obesity, diabetes, heart diseases, and other health complications. Number 5. Don't leave a dog alone in the car. Leaving your dog in a hot car isn't just dangerous, it can be deadly. According to Ohio Animal Protection, ANOA, the temperature inside a vehicle can rise 20 degrees in less than 10 minutes, even if the car is parked in the shade. To protect your pet, never leave them alone in a closed car. Dogs don't sweat like humans. They have a limited ability to sweat through their paws, and they mainly rely on panting to cool themselves. This means dogs can overheat much faster than you think, especially in the summer months, and the consequences of keeping your pup in a closed vehicle can be fatal. Number 4. Don't dress your dog. Dogs are like people in that they get cold in the winter just like the rest of us. Unlike us, though, dogs have fur to help regulate their body temperature. This means that when it's cold outside, your dog doesn't need a coat to keep warm. In fact, putting a coat on your dog in the winter can make him very hot and lead to health problems. That's not to say you can't dress your dog in small clothes once in a while. Just make sure you don't do this every day, and always take the time into account before dressing your pup. If it's cold outside, stick with sweaters or jackets made from warm materials like wool. And if it's hot outside, skip the clothes and let your dog run around naked. He'll be much more comfortable that way. Have you done any of the things so far listed in this video? This can help a lot of people. Think about it. Number 3. Avoid using strong fragrances. Dogs have about 1,000 to 10,000 of their ability to perceive smells. There are smells that we can barely notice, but they can be very irritating to a dog. Dogs use their sense of smell to communicate with other dogs, find food, and track people. The average human has around 5,000 scent receptors, while a bloodhound has around 300 million. If you're like most people, you enjoy the occasional spritz of perfume or the use of scented candles to make your house smell good. However, if you have a dog, you may want to try to minimize your use of perfume, cleaners, vinegar, pepper, and citrus smells. These smells can be overwhelming and irritating to dogs, making them anxious or stressed. Number 2. Protect your dog in the car. It's a common misconception that dogs are okay to ride in a car without a seatbelt or car seat. After all, people wear seatbelts and kids use car seats, so why would the case be any different for your dog? The fact is, dogs are just as susceptible to injury in a car accident as humans are, and can even be killed if not properly restrained. Never let your dog stick its head out of a moving vehicle. Not only will it keep your dog safe in the event of an accident, it will also keep them from being a distraction to the driver. Branches, rocks, or other debris can collide with the animal's head. Even worse, the dog may feel the urge to jump out of a moving car. There are many good options for keeping your dog safe in the car, so there's no excuse not to. Number 1. Don't pull on the leash. Pressure on a dog's neck from a tight leash can interrupt the flow of air and blood, leading to a number of health issues, including thyroid damage and choking. The study, conducted by researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna, Austria, looked at 24 dogs of different breeds and sizes. The dogs were given collars that created different levels of pressure in their throats. Ultrasound images were then used to measure changes in blood flow and airway diameter. Additionally, a study conducted by the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine found that 30% of dogs that were regularly walked on leashes had thyroid problems, compared to just 10% of dogs on the loose. The study found that even moderate pressure from a collar caused a significant decrease in blood flow and an increase in airway diameter. The best way to handle a situation like this is not to pull on the leash, which will only aggravate your dog and make him more likely to disobey. Instead, try using a gentle pulling motion or simply keeping your hand still until the dog responds. If your dog continues to act up, stop and wait until he is calm before continuing his walk. Answer me, have you ever come across that situation at your mealtime? Your dog stops in front of you almost begging for your food and you feel sorry for it? Or even allow your puppy to jump on people because it looks harmless or cute? And bone, have you ever fed your dog a bone and he got sick? It might be. Here are 10 most common mistakes that many dog owners make and how to avoid them. So click there and I'll explain. A big hug.